Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, 4D. Good evening, Viv.
Good evening, 4G. Good evening, Bronze.
It is Thursday, the 11th of June, 2026. Storm in the Teacup, episode 68. I was going to say 86 for a minute there. Yeah, 68. Yeah, 68. Just quickly, just a few really boring things about the number 68. Where are we? Oh, I've lost it. Oh, okay. The chemical element with the atomic number 68 is yet another one which we probably have never heard of. It's called erbium. With the symbol ER. I guess that's the American pronunciation. If over in England, we'll probably pronounce it as herbium. But that's a joke, by the way.
I don't think I've heard of that one. Yeah.
No, erbium. Apparently, it's some kind of metallic element. Another obscure element. 68 is apparently a lucky number for Cancerians. In AD 68, Emperor Nero committed suicide, the Roman Emperor Nero. And also in AD 68, it was apparently the first ever Buddhist temple was built in China.
Okay.
Just for the number 68, that's about as much as I could find. But 1968 had quite a few interesting things going on. 68 obviously had the Vietnam War, and 1968 is when they had the Tet Offensive, if you know anything about that. It was a massive coordinated attack by North Vietnam, which one aspect of it, they actually breached the American embassy in Saigon, and they eventually overcame it, the Americans and South Vietnamese, but it was a massive PR disaster for public opinion back home, and definitely contributed towards the Americans getting out of that war, or losing it, if you like. April, Martin Luther King was assassinated by a fellow called James Earl Ray, who was convicted and put in prison and died in prison. Died sometime in the 90s. Apparently, the King family had never believed that he did it. They always believed it was a bigger, more organised killing carried out by a policeman, I believe.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. Also, that was in April. Also in April, it's the anniversary of Enoch Powell's Rivers of Blood speech. The famous and quite prophetic, it's turning out to be, speech.
I've seen a couple of things from him popping up on the interwebs lately.
Yeah. Conservative politician gave a very inflammatory, at the time, speech about immigration into the UK and how dangerous it was and how dangerous it would be. It was, he ended up losing his job. He was a member of the shadow cabinet. He got kicked out and caused all sorts of controversy. But seems he wasn't far wrong. That was Rivers of Blood. Also, Andy Warhol had an assassination attempt by a radical feminist who shot him, but he survived.
Valerie Solanas. Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah.
She was she was a member of Scum Auxiliary, SCUM.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it stood for the Society for Cutting Up Men, and she shot off his genitals, apparently.
No way.
Oh my.
Or certainly damaged them. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he had a long operation. He survived, but only after a very long operation. But yeah, so if you seem to know more details about that, but
yeah, she was worked in the factory as one of his helpers. I don't know if anyone knows. Warhol was one of the first. No, he certainly wasn't one of the first, but he was one of the first modern artists to use a team to create his works.
Right. She obviously wasn't really impressed with him as a boss.
Yeah, he also had a load of models there as well. People like what's her name from German woman from the Velvet Underground. Nico sort of hung around that scene. Yeah. But yeah, Scum Auxiliary. I've got the book somewhere. They wrote.
Being a radical feminist, the chances are she was mentally unbalanced. So I guess that kind of sort of
yes. Mm.
Okay. Also in June, the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy in a hotel kitchen, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, that was 68, was it?
It was 68, yeah. So Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy were both murdered in that year. In October, the 1968 Olympics was held in Mexico City, made famous by the Black American athletes who won medals, and on the podium they made the Black Power salute, the fists, when they were in the medal ceremony.
Yeah.
Yep, remember that.
Yeah, October 25th, legendary English rock band Led Zeppelin make their first ever live performance at Surrey University in England. December the 20th, the first known Zodiac killer murder takes place in Lake Herman Road, Vallejo, California.
I remember watching a Hollywood film about that thing, I think.
Yes, there was one. Yeah. Was it called the Zodiac Killer or something, on the Zodiac Murders?
I think it was, actually. I think they were. Yeah, I think that is what it was called. Yeah.
Yeah, it was called Zodiac, I think. Just I think there's been several that. I think the Dirty Harry as well has that killer is called Zodiac.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. But there's probably not a connection to the actual Zodiac.
No, but
no, yeah.
But he was named Zodiac. That the famous last scene. Do you feel lucky, punk?
No. That wasn't that. He didn't say that to that character. He said that to the black guy in the street, didn't he? When they were trying to rob a building.
That's the first time. But when he confronts Zodiac on the pier, in the final few scenes, he repeats that.
Okay.
Oh, right. That's probably the lesser known, right?
Zodiac's manically. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What you think? Yeah. Anyway, I won't try and do a Clint Eastwood impression. December 24th, Christmas Eve. The Apollo 8 spacecraft enters orbit around the moon. Astronauts Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, William Anders become the first humans to see the far side of the moon and planet Earth as a whole, as well as having travelled further away from Earth than any people in history, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly. And of course, that also spawned the famous photo, which is known as Earthrise, which was taken by William Anders, one of the astronauts.
Interesting. That's another one. That's another one that got switched without me knowing. So it was the far side of the moon, and now we refer to it as the dark side of the moon. Not that there's any relevance in what I've just said, but it's interesting.
Well, yeah, Pink Floyd album.
Yeah, I believe one of them is correct and one of them is incorrect. It's like because I think dark side of the moon is incorrect because it's not always dark. It's only because when we have like a new moon, when we can't see the moon, we're looking at the dark side of the moon, but we're still looking at the same face of it.
Because the sun illuminates it. Yeah.
The sun illuminates the far side, so it's not always the dark side. It's always the far side, though.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, it's like any planet. If you look at our planet, there's not a dark side of the planet. There's a rotation that's involved. Not that I believe any of that, unfortunately. I'm too deep in the spiritual world. But
yeah, it's just from our perspective, isn't it? We call because the same face of the moon is always facing us, so we only ever see one side of the moon. So the far side of the moon is the correct terminology because that is the far side, but that's not always the dark side. The dark side sometimes faces us. That's why. Yeah.
So anyway. The moon doesn't rotate.
It does, but it's perfectly in sync with its rotation around the Earth. So
here we go with the deep conspiracies. None of it really makes sense. When you keep thinking and and it actually makes less and less sense. I don't know why.
it's incredible that it's perfectly in sync with its rotation about the Earth. So we only ever see the same side all the time. That to me, that is mind blowing. But it does actually rotate on its axis. It's just it's just that the speed of its rotation on its axis is perfectly in sync with its rotation around the Earth. So it appears to us as if the same face of the moon is always facing us, facing the Earth. So yeah, and very last and very least, sometime unspecified dates in 1968, the Khmer Rouge is officially formed in Cambodia.
And then moved to UK and became the Labour
Pol Starmer. Kia Pot.
Kia Pot. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So there you go. That's my 68s for this week.
Excellent.
Nice. And not too much for this day in history, but there was some, as there always is, there were some cool ones. So I like these two that sort of go hand in hand. So this day in history in 1517, British Admiral Sir Thomas Pert reaches Hudson Bay. Hudson Bay is up there in Canada. And the reason it goes with the next one, which ironically again happened this day in history, but 61 years later in 1578, England grants Sir Humphrey Gilbert a patent to explore and colonize North America. So that's all the way back in 15. So they found, I kind of giggled to myself, as I'm sure you both just did then. They found it Hudson Bay, and then 61 years later, it's right. Yeah, get out there. Let's colonize it. I mean,
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you have our permission, as if we own it to go.
Yeah, as if it was ours to give in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Mental.
Okay,
Hudson
then
Bay. That's
go on.
Sorry, the Hudson Bay. That's a big old stretch of water. That is, isn't it? Hudson Bay. Yeah. That's massive.
Yeah.
Is that whenever you look at the map of Canada, is that what I always pretend is the eyeball of that continent? Is that the big sort of lake that comes into it? Is that Hudson Bay?
Yeah, it's kind of if you imagine like Ontario, which is sort of to the east. You've got Ontario and Quebec, but the southern borders of Ontario and Quebec a border with the USA, like Wisconsin, Michigan, New York, Vermont, all that sort of stuff. But then to the north of them is water, is a big bay. So, and that is Hudson Bay, and it is, I suppose you could call it an eyeball of sorts. Yeah.
We'd already gone from here to the Americas, but I'm guessing that was the furthest north we'd been. And that's why it was a pivotal moment, I guess. I don't know.
No idea.
No.
But, I bet it was cold.
Yeah, it might even be one of those places that you can only get to certain months of the year. I don't know.
I would think so, because the way in from the Atlantic, or the Northern Atlantic, it's kind of, you come up between Greenland and the northeastern tip of Canada. And then there's a strait where you have to, it's like the Northwestern Passage, it's called. What's it called? It's the Hudson Strait. And Hudson Strait, and then that leads into a much bigger expanse of water, which is the Hudson Bay. So yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep cutting you off. I do apologise.
No, go on.
Okay, after that we got 1685, the Monmouth rebels. Duke of do you know this one? So it's the Duke of Monmouth, James Scott, rebels against Catholic King James II.
That's right.
I'll be honest with you, I was gonna look into it, and then I thought no, because I saw something else that I looked into. But Anything brief to say about that then, Viv?
Well, it just led to all sorts of trouble. Yeah, there was a lot of opposition to James II.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that was indeed part of it, and yeah, it didn't really work. They tried to depose him, and he got a load of Protestants together, a load of commoners, and they got defeated at Sedgemoor, I believe it was.
Right.
It was very it was very harsh. The way they repulsed it. But yeah.
Everything back there, that sort of time period was pretty brutal.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. No, it's basically a peasant army, and as far as I remember.
Yeah.
You remember it, Viv? You're not that old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm older than I look.
Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod.
Aye.
My next one was this day in history in 1900, so the turn of the century. David Beetle and 150 men from HMS Barfure land as part of a force of 2,400 defending, and I had to look this up, Tientsin, defending Tientsin. It's spelled Tientsin. From 15,000 Chinese troops and boxers. And the reason I looked into that, so I read that through and I was like, Chinese troops and boxers, that makes no sense. So, like, what is the Boxer Rebellion of? And it's
with the Chinese.
Go on.
Sorry, go on. No, sorry, go on. You carry on.
Well, so this is something that happened between 1899 and 1901, toward the end of the Qing dynasty. Is that pronounced as
which? Sorry, spell it again.
Qing.
The King.
So is that
King. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that in Chinese. So
yeah, we'll have to apologise, but that's the spelling of it. During the end of that dynasty, this is when this came up, and it was by the Society of Righteous and Harmonious Fists, and so this was a group of Chinese. And I guess it's a time when we didn't understand their martial arts, and so we just called it Chinese boxing, but it must have been whatever the Chinese discipline in martial arts is. And I love the way they were called the Society of Righteous and Harmonious Fists.
It's very Chinese, isn't it? Very Chinese, that.
Yeah, isn't it?
That is quite. It's more famously known as the Boxer Rebellion, which was an anti-imperialist uprising amongst those types. So obviously the wrestlers took a day off, but the boxers stepped up.
Exactly. No, it was very much anti-Christian.
That's it. I was going to say its members were known as the Boxers by the English, owing to many of their practices of Chinese martial arts, which at the time was referred to as Chinese boxing. It was, and it was a anti-colonial, anti-Christian, as Viv says, mainly Christian. It was anti that, and they wanted their own autonomy, which absolutely right. And what was it? But yeah, sorry, go on, Viv.
No, I mean that's kind of it, really. And they it was another nasty thing anyway. Another nasty thing.
Yeah,
but another one where
it's
only 2,400 troops versus 15,000. Quite different odds.
Well, it was apparently put down by an 8-nation alliance who had invaded China, and apparently the what do you call it? The casualties were overall about 100,000 on all sides. apparently.
Wow. Whoa.
Oh right. Oh thanks. Right.
Yeah. So it wasn't pretty.
No. Yeah.
And yeah, the Eight Nation Alliance looks like Austria-Hungary, British Empire, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Russia, and the United States.
Mm.
So everyone was trying to get in on there.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone wanted a piece of the pie, didn't they? So.
Yeah.
Typical. Where was the next one? Oh, I love this one. So this day in history in 1939, British ruler King George VI and Queen Elizabeth taste their first hot dog at a party at FDR's Hyde Park residence during their US visit. So I love that. That was the first time they'd had a commoner's hot dog.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, I mean,
Sorry, Viva, if I'd just like to say, I wonder if FDR told them how they were made, if that put them off.
Well,
they would have been very different in 1939, to be fair. They were probably still really good.
Probably all right by then. I mean, we didn't really have hot dogs either over here, so they wouldn't have tasted them here. So we didn't really have them.
Yeah.
Hot dogs came over later, after the war, I believe. We did have the Savoy, though, which is a very disreputable sausage sold in fish and chip shops.
Well, did we not just have sausages in general?
Yeah, we had sausages, but not hot dogs, American hot dogs, which were Frankfurters, which were basically German.
Frank's in the hole with sausages.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's just Yorkshire pudding and sausages, basically, isn't it? Toad in the hole.
Yeah. You don't like?
But yeah, no, they were different. Definitely were different. Yeah.
My last one is this day in 1987. Margaret Thatcher is the first British Prime Minister in 160 years to win a third consecutive term.
Okay.
So there you go.
Really? Is that possible? I thought. Am I confusing the British system with the American system? I kind of thought there was term limits on British prime ministers. Is there not a limit on that?
I was going to say I don't think is there a limit? Well, Viv's the most learned of us in this respect, but I don't think I've heard of one.
What a limit? A number? Do you mean how many terms? There's times they can stand. No. There's no term limit. No.
Yeah.
Is there not? My God.
No. Should be. No. Well, there should be, but there's not. They can. I mean, as long as they're an MP.
Why do you have the argument that there should be?
Why?
Sorry.
Well, why do I think so? That there should be a term limit. Well, Look at our current Prime Minister. Do you think he should go on forever?
No, but okay. So let's pretend that voting works, but you'd like to think that the point of if you're that good, you deserve to be there as long as you can do the job, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would say the a perfect argument for term limits. This is not Prime Minister, so this is a bit different. But there should most definitely be term limits for the Mayor of London, because this little bit that we've got in is on his third term, and he's going to be running for a fourth, which is just and he's not there. He's not there because people vote him in. He's not there through legitimate means. That's for sure. He is.
This is why it's a difficult argument, because if democracy worked legally and properly, then I guess you wouldn't have an argument to it, because we'd know that we can vote them out when it goes wrong. But unfortunately, we're in different tides at the moment where no one trusts the system. So of course we're possibly more against unlimited term. But I'd say there is a limit in as much as the age restriction. I believe you've got to be over 40, 50, 40.
Don't know about that. Don't know.
For Prime Minister, you have to be over a certain age. I don't know.
Yeah, let me look that up then.
Why are you doing that? I did, talking about democracy working properly, I did hear someone quote, I think it was Aristotle, who said that democracy only really works in a undivided society, i.e. a society where basically people are all the same.
Yep.
Where everybody shares the same values and the same culture. That's the only time democracy works properly. All other times it doesn't work. Because once you have a divided society, a fractured society, that's where tyranny, that's a space where tyranny lives.
Yeah.
Because tyranny can't work in an undivided society. Tyranny can only work in a divided society. And once you have that, democracy does not work. So I would argue that we have probably not had that since, I don't know, since going back to the 1950s at least. We've not had a true democracy in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. What was I going to say about this? I mean, the term limit of the Prime Minister is essentially, how can I frame this? It essentially depends on the length of the party which he heads being in power.
Yes.
So if the party's turned out, then of course he's no longer Prime Minister. But I think the first British Prime Minister served a very, very long term. That was Horace Walpole, if I'm not very much mistaken.
Okay.
Well, and if we talk that, as I said, so 1987, she was the first person in 160 years to do 3 terms. That means that our unlimited term thing is irrelevant because they don't get to do that many anyway, because as Viv turns out, it's really, you've got to hope that your party gets in for you to be able to stay in anyway.
Well, also that the leaders are kind of at the whim of the party as well. As Margaret Thatcher found out, she was kicked out by her own party in the end. She didn't run her full 3rd term, did she? She was ousted.
That's right. Yeah. So you have to have a very good party, and you have to be very good at leading your party.
You have to be very good at leading. You have to have some leverage over your party. Which is kind of why we're stuck with this soulless git we got now, because the only way to get rid of him is for the party to get rid of him, and they're not prepared to do that.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. So
we've got to wait till the next election. Yeah.
I must have got this from America then, because we have no minimum or maximum age. You can run for Prime Minister from the age of 18, and there is no upper limit to it. I genuinely
Viv, go for it. You're 18, aren't you? You just turned 18. You should go for it.
I just turned 18. Yeah, of course I can.
Yeah.
I might do that, you know.
If you get voted in, and then just abolish everything.
Abolish
absolutely everything. Sack everybody and abolish everything.
Everything. Yep. Yeah. I wonder who was the youngest Prime Minister. I'm going to go, before I look this up, I'm going to go for William Pitt. Yeah.
I don't know what made me think of that, but
that's what I was thinking. Well, it's got to be something to do with the fact that he's called the younger, which I don't think is anything to do with his age. It's to do with another William Pitt, who was the older, I suppose, or elder.
Yes, that's it. Might be a bit misleading. Yes.
Let me see who's the youngest. I'm just looking this up here. Oh, it is. He was the younger. You're right. He was 24 when he took the office. Yeah.
Wow.
24 and running the country. I mean, when was that? When was that? That must have been at the height of the empire as well, I'm guessing as well. Surely.
He took office in 1783.
Yeah. So wow, that's an incredible.
I really wouldn't have expected someone that young, that late on. I really wouldn't have expected that.
Well, 1783. I don't know when Prime Minister, the term Prime Minister isn't very old. It came in around that period. I think it was Horace Walpole was the first Prime Minister, I believe. So that was also in the 18th century. So 17 something. Yeah. But I mean, Prime Minister was different then. And remember, most people couldn't vote. Voters at that point in English history were landowners, property class. So
no women. That's before the women's vote. Was that when the Tories were called the Whigs? Was that when they were the Whigs?
No. Whigs are different. Whigs are liberals.
Are they? Oh, okay. The Whigs have not transformed into either of the two main parties or the ex-two main parties.
No. Hang on, let me think. No, Whigs weren't liberals. No.
Yeah, historic Liberal Party.
They were liberals, but they were progressive. Yeah, they were part of a progressive path. Progressivism. Yeah, I think the Whigs disappeared into the Liberals. So yeah, Whigs, but Tories, Whigs and Tories. Basically, it was
the Whigs were kind of the old. The Whigs were the old kind of Labour Party, I guess, as opposed to the Tories.
No, they were again landed class. The Labour Party, which took about 100 years to get into power with Ramsay MacDonald, was formed in the 19th century, and it aimed to represent the working people of the country, which is a laugh, isn't it, when you look at it now?
Yeah, but that was before the Labour Party existed. The Whigs were the opposition to the Tories, weren't they?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, basically. Yeah. But Labour was a new idea based on, as much Methodism as Marx.
Well, I heard that the Labour Party was originally a Welsh party. Its origins were in Wales, from the Welsh working class.
It's possible. Labour grew out of unions. I suppose you could go back to the Top Huddle Martyrs, who wanted to form an agriculture union, and this led to the growth of the Labour movement. They may have been Welsh. I don't know. It's just very interesting. Yeah. Don't know.
Well, that was all beyond me because I don't think I've ever heard the term Whigs anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Whigs and Tories. Yeah, they were the two wings of the ruling class. Although they weren't massively different, but obviously Tories were more royalist, but Whigs were royalists. So I don't know. It's a different system to what we've got now, since we've had universal suffrage in the starting in the late 19th century. Yeah, everyone eventually got the vote.
Yeah, and look where it's got us. Rivers of blood on our streets.
Yeah.
It's a ruling class that they have made it absolutely clear now, in case anyone was in any doubt. I mean, the three of us weren't, I know that. In case anyone was in any doubts, they have made it absolutely clear that this is that this is a course they've chosen, and they are not deviating from it, no matter what it costs the people of this country, or or how angry or upset we get, or how much noise we make, or how much we protest. They're just refusing to hear us because we mean absolutely nothing to them.
Absolutely nothing. Just the mud on their boots, mud on their jacket.
Yes.
We mean less. We mean less than a black man from America called George Floyd. It winds me up. Like the difference of where we see all of them bunch of tossers getting down on one knee, how tragic it is. And not a peep out. What we get over here is how we have to be tolerant, how we have to just be calm, and we're going to get arrested if we do something wrong. Nothing about how absolutely abhorrent it is what's going on in our country. It winds me up.
Yeah.
Obviously,
talking about what's happened in Belfast over the last few days. Also, that's compounded the issue with Henry Novak as well. And also something which really went completely under the radar was on the same day of the Belfast, that horrible event in Belfast, was also apparently three school kids in Manchester got stabbed as well. But that didn't even make the news. That didn't even make the news because of the Belfast thing.
I read that on Substack, which is my kind of newspaper, really. Yeah.
And I believe I'm right in saying that the rape of that 12-year-old girl by 4 migrants was also it's definitely been in the last couple of days anyway.
Maybe did that happen in the last few days, or was that news just released? Maybe hoping it would be buried.
Yeah, possibly, but it's really hard to keep track now. I mean, don't forget Novak was Novak was murdered in December, and they tried to keep that quiet. I've seen a lot of commentators saying, the 2 things happened in the same week. No, Novak was murdered in November, and they scrambled to cover that whole thing up.
Yeah, and it would have stayed covered up if it hadn't been for pressure from citizen journalists, and also, I mean, the same thing with this poor guy in Belfast getting absolutely whatever that Sudanese animal tried to do to him. Somebody filmed it, and if it hadn't been for that, this would have been buried and covered up. Absolutely. And of course, all of the usual the parasite criminals who are just want to keep the status quo because it suits them, regardless of how it affects the actual countries involved. All they're doing is coming out and saying, don't share the video, criticizing Elon Musk and X for allowing the video to be put on the platform, calling everybody far right, of course, calling everybody racist. And it's just, these people just do not care. They do not care. They're so desperate to try and keep their agenda going. And just not admit to the truth of what is happening. But the people have had enough. The people have had enough. They really have now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially though. Look. Let's play a little. I work in a certain industry and where we are told not to make assumptions, not to speculate, not to. What's the word? I forget the word, but if you just stick to the facts. Not judgmental. But anyway, I'll remember it in a minute. So yeah, we're told not to really just bother about this. Basically, not to go on the streets and demonstrate. Peaceful demonstrations are perfectly acceptable. When it descends into violence, we will take serious action, and they have already. But if I was, as I said, a boat person, a dinghy, smuggled, a person who's been smuggled into the country, and I was then placed in Northern Ireland, I would get out of there quickly because those people are hard as nails.
Well, yes. That they are a class unto themselves when it comes to dealing with stuff like this, because primarily what they've been through, the sectarian troubles that they went through back in the 80s and the 90s, has definitely given them a very unique perspective on life.
And it really is a turning point, because up until now, I think me and Bronze were briefly saying this before, up until now, with the kind of gatherings that have been going on in the UK, it's been very much people out there, some very, very few losing their temper, but mostly it's been out there begging the government to listen in, begging them to change things and asking for a change. The distinction with this is it's very much, they've asked everyone to turn up in balaclavas. They've told people, do not come here and film, you will get beaten up. they have come out in a very different. This isn't please government do what we've asked. This is right. We've gone past that point now. Now you're going to listen to us or else. And I know you two agree with me. None of us want this. But if the government didn't realise that it was going to get to this point at some point, they're very, very naive. It was an obvious reaction to. I mean, how long have we asked for less migration? Are we talking 40 years, 30 years, 20? What is it now? But either way, you've got to realise that this was on the cards.
Yeah, I mean the large movements against migration, and that I mean for amongst ordinary people, really started during the Blair years, when Blair sort of got all multiculti and invited loads of people and.
But still, we didn't vote for it. Though. We didn't vote for it because he did not say that he was going to do that. So nobody knew he was going to do that. So it's not like the British public voted for it. We didn't vote for that. We were never asked, and we didn't. Vote for it.
We never. That's 30 years ago. You know.
But it doesn't matter what.
We never have.
No, we never have. But that doesn't particularly matter. Not to the ruling class. They have an agenda. They'll say things at the election. They'll put out, the manifestos, but it means nothing. Those manifestos mean nothing. They're not legally binding.
Yeah, people know that. That's why the turnout in elections has just fallen off a cliff these days.
Yep.
Because people get that now. They know that.
Yep. That's right.
And as you say, Bronze, they have come out and stated their case very clearly. We don't care what you say. We have got our agenda, and we are going to carry on full steam ahead.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Did you see? I mean, the First Minister of Northern Ireland. I didn't even know this. Right, this woman. She's actually a member of Sinn Féin.
Yeah.
So the First Minister of Northern Ireland, the equivalent of the Prime Minister, is a member of the party which was the political wing of the IRA, right?
And she has the audacity to come out and say, "Be calm."
Do you know what she said? Do you know what she said? She said. Michelle O'Neill. Because the video, I mean, I haven't watched the video because I can't watch it. I do not want to watch it. But I've heard from enough people to know what went on in the video, all right? And she actually said, I wish you hadn't seen the video, right? I wish you hadn't seen the video. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What? Is that all you care about, that we hadn't seen the video? You wish we hadn't seen the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing about what was done. Not about the actual reality of it. It's just the fact that people saw the video, saw the truth of what happened. She didn't want us to see the truth. It's just unbelievable.
If she said, "I wish I hadn't seen the video," I would be a bit more sympathetic, because when I watched the Henry Novak thing, I thought, I really wish I hadn't watched this. This is this is horrible.
Yeah,
you know.
And so yeah, I mean, it's just it's very funny because that they hate, the reason that a lot of them blame Elon Musk is because they absolutely hate the fact that X is where people are still able to get some elements at least of the truth of these matters. Because everyone's got a phone, everyone can film something and just put it up on X for everybody to see. So they would love for nothing more than to shut down X. Okay, but that would be the worst thing they could do. That would be the worst thing they could do.
Don't worry, it's all in hand. They'll introduce age verification. They're pushing for under 16s now, and that will have to include everyone because the logic dictates.
Well, I don't know. I mean, do you remember there was a story a few months back now about this uprising in Nepal where the government, the main government building was completely ransacked by rioters, and where they were chasing politicians down the street. The politicians were running for their lives, and it was reported that most of these people who were doing the rioting were young people. And the reason that happened was because the government were very unpopular, and people were getting very upset with them. A lot of stuff going on social media. So the government says, "Oh, we've got to try and stop this." So they shut down social media. And because they shut down social media, that's what made people get up and go and get rid of them and riot. It was the actual shutting down social media. That's why there's so many young people doing it. They thought, you can't do this. This is not right.
Of course. But they've understood. The controllers have watched that, and they've learned from that. So now age verification will be brought in, and it'll be fair. It'll be so fair. You'll have to take a photograph of your face.
They already have that in Australia, and it doesn't work. Not working.
No, because you get a VPN, don't you?
It's not going to work here. If it doesn't work there, it's not going to work here either. So they'll try. I don't think they'll get away with it. They'll try, Viv, but
yeah, I tend to think that, but that's what they think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, they think a lot of things that they're in their little bubble that are just a million miles away from reality.
Yeah. We've had a significant change in public opinion. So I don't care if they feel that way. They've pushed their luck. I feel that this is the beginning of the end, if you want to look at it that way.
I don't know. We've had so many episodes like this where we kind of think this is it. This is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and it just hasn't quite turned out that way. This may well be that, but I'm not going to make any predictions.
No,
it's going to add.
Are you aware of what happened last night?
Where?
In Ireland.
No.
Yeah.
In Belfast specifically.
Oh, in Belfast. Yeah. There was a riot. Yeah, essentially.
Well, yeah, but the point I was trying to make is that there was a multi-occupants HMO that was set ablaze. This thing looked like it would have had about 10, 15, maybe 20, 10, 15 occupancies in it. That was burned to the ground. And I saw personally on the few that I could find, which is another point to make, they've really cracked down on anyone filming. They don't want to get caught by the police. They've realised that the police use your average Joe with this camera phone filming it, and so they've said do not have your phones out, and it's why it's so hard to see what's actually going on. But the few things I did see, I saw at least 8 other homes set ablaze, and I mean fully they're completely gone. And in one of the houses that was set ablaze, it caught to about 3 or 4 next to it. So we're talking last night alone, you're talking 20, 30 residents burnt out of this is really bad. This is really aggression. This is and also I want to point out that from what I saw and from what I heard, not that this makes it, I'm not trying to make anything good, bad or indifferent. I'm merely pointing out that the kids that went, or the people that did it, knocked on the door, burst the door open, told everyone to get out, gave them a specific 3 minutes, and then did whatever. So the only small point I'm making there is it's not mindless violence. There is still a very little bit of hope that if you stop this now, government, it won't get to the point that there's no return.
Yeah, I mean, there were people saying that who know about this, who's saying this is not over the top, out of control. This is just the beginning. They are holding back. They've not really unleashed the full force of what they are capable of doing. They are still kind of giving them a chance with this. And yes, I mean, I saw I was watching a feed and the guy was getting aerial footage from Sky News. This is was it last night or the night before? I can't remember. I think it's the night before. And there were buildings on fire, and there was no confirmation that these are HMOs or migrant houses. But I kind of thought those probably are migrant houses. And here's the thing: it's like this is not the thing that we really want to condone or agree with.
No.
But a part of me doesn't care. A part of me feels no sympathy, and this is not right. But talking of right, to quote our friend Frank Wright, I have been radicalized by reality.
Yes.
And unfortunately, this is what it's turning me into, not caring if these migrants' homes are, if they're getting turfed out of their homes, because it's not their fault, but this is what the government and the authorities have done. This is their fault. They have created this.
Yep.
Yeah, no, well done for having the balls to say that, because I think a lot of people, that is a ballsy thing to say, because you're right. It's not that I absolutely see where you're coming from. We're not condoning or saying anything, but when you've pushed a group of people to the point that they don't care, that is a really stupid place for you to have put your people in.
Yeah.
None of us want to feel those. You're absolutely right, and we're all decent people. Of course, we don't want any of that to happen. Of course, goes without saying. It's and it is. That's the thing. All of this is difficult, and they know they've made it very difficult. We are law-abiding. I'd like to think all of us are decent guys. We don't want any of this, but unfortunately, as Bronze says, we've got to the point where we don't care. Our lives have been turned into such bastardizations of what they should have been that we've reached the point of no return. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid so, and I completely agree that we should be looking at the government. The government are blaming us because they hate us, but they don't really hate us. They despise ordinary people, and they're turning this whole thing into. They're turning it round. They're moving it away from one of the protected people, one of those with protected characteristics who did this awful thing. And do you know what he's trying to do? Yeah, well, what this maniac was doing. And now the focus has switched. And it's far right. It's far right, and they're not from the area. You see, they're not from the area. They've come in. Really? How do you know that then?
Well, that they know that they are entirely to blame for this, but of course they're not going to own up to that, because that'll be the end for them. So they have to blame everyone else. They have to try and switch, switch the focus onto us, onto everyday people. Their lives depend on it. Literally, their lives depend on it.
Of course. Because if they paid attention to what happened in Holland. Yeah, in the, I think, 17th century, the Dutch Prime Minister, was it 18th century, 17th? Anyway, he was chased down the street, killed and eaten by the people.
Eaten? Bloody hell.
Eaten, yeah, they ate him. Or they cut strips off him anyway and ate, some people ate bits of him. Oh.
I mean, this is probably going to become a. I mean, there's been lots of murmurs, and we've mentioned it a few times, the possibility of a civil war in the UK, and it's as close as it ever has been. But I kind of think maybe a civil war is not the best way to frame it. I think probably a better way of describing it, if it does happen, is a decolonization war. And unfortunately, if it does happen, it's going to be racially charged. It's going to be massive racially charged. It's going to be sectarian and racial, and it really shouldn't be about race, but it has been turned into that by the race grifters and all the DEI and the woke identity politics, which we've had shoved down our throats for the last 20 years.
You're talking about woke racism, aren't you? Yeah.
I'm talking about racism in general. There's going to be a lot of it's going to be if it does really kick off big time, civil unrest, civil war. There's going to be a huge racial element to it where it shouldn't have to be.
Yes,
you've got a situation where for the first time ever, you've got the religious aspects in Northern Ireland joining together. You've got the Protestants, the Catholics joining. Once you get to that point, when you've pushed them too far.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of Republicans in balaclavas warning migrants. Videos, the sort of video you see when three people with guns, and they've got guns, but whether it's a setup, who knows? I don't believe much of what I see anymore. But this came out maybe a year ago. Three blokes, they're blokes sitting on a table, guns in front of them, warning migrants. They were Republicans.
Oh,
the new Republican Army, they called themselves.
They do, yes, they do call themselves.
That's only about 6 months old.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, is it really too much to conceive that all of the paramilitary cells that are active during the sectarianism of the IRA and the UDF, and when all of that was going on back in the 80s, is it really so hard to conceive that those elements can very easily be activated again?
Of course.
Those cells, and they probably are, but they're not being activated against each other. As 4D said, they're being activated. They both have a common threat now, so they are effectively going to be working side by side.
And I have to point out that the conflict in Ireland, which is been called the Troubles, was not really a religious conflict. The religion was a marker of identity more than anything. It was a conflict between those who wanted to remain British, essentially, and those who wanted to join with Ireland, which was the Republican side.
It was Unionists and Republicans, basically, or Loyalists and Republicans.
And as we know from the history of the Republic of Ireland, a lot of Protestants were involved. So we shouldn't necessarily think of it as a religious conflict. It's been framed that way. But these were just marks of identity. And certainly on both sides, people would go indiscriminately murdering which other religion. But predominantly the drive between that is between people who saw themselves Irish and those who saw themselves as British.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, actually. Yeah.
I mean, I think, 4D, you mentioned it earlier, it's like one upshot of this is, if I was a migrant and the last place I would want to go right now is Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And you can bet your ass the migrants who are already there are desperately want to leave now because they feel like they're coming for us. They are coming for us. And we are not under the protection of the authorities anymore. They cannot help us.
Well,
and in a way,
that's the next stage from the government not listening and doing as they're told. Then the public have to force in. So South deportations are a win for this, which again, unfortunately, that's the way they'll see it.
And as far as the authorities not looking after, basically they have a contract. They have a social contract.
Sorry, buddy. Yeah.
As far as the authorities, Viv, why are you helloing us? Can you not hear us?
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
We can't.
You can't hear us. Yeah.
Carry on with what.
Log off and log back on.
I'm going to restart. I'm going to go back.
Yeah. Good idea.
Going out.
Yeah. What I was saying was, it's like that's the position we're in now. It's like we've had our weapons taken away from us. So the agreement is that the authorities protect us now because we have. They've said to us, right, we're going to take your weapons away, but it's all right because we're going to protect you. But that has completely been smashed because that is obvious that they're not fulfilling that obligation anymore. They are not protecting us. They've taken our weapons away and they are not protecting us. So it is that is why all trust is now absolutely destroyed. It's gone. So give us our weapons back or do your bloody job. Look after us. Right. Otherwise,
that's right.
So
yeah. Like I say, I don't even know. It's so closed so closed off. I know things are going on tonight, but I can't really find anything live streamed.
There will probably be reports after the event. Yeah, like it probably won't be like you say. There'll be a lack of live stream, but there'll probably be plenty of information which filters through after. But
there's a blonde girl. I don't know. Her name is Sarah something, and I can't.
But it's not Sarah White. Sarah White.
She's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not blonde. Yeah, she was heavily involved in the Epping hotel protests. And she obviously has some kind of contacts out in Northern Ireland because she went out there and she knows exactly what's going on. She knows the score.
She said she was. Yeah, she said she had a lot to do with something to do with Ireland. So politically or whatever, she had a lot to do with it. And I think she's trusted by some of the real the tough gangs that sort of rule out there. So yeah, she was given sort of almost. Exclusive, and she still had her camera at her feet the whole time. Like she wouldn't film anyone there, and I guess they knew that she would do that. That's why she was allowed to be there. But it was about that's the only reason I knew what was going on last night. To be honest with you, her and
she was on Dan Wootton. Was it Dan Wootton? She was on talking about it.
Yes, yeah, I believe she was. Yeah.
Also, Danny Tomo as well. He was talking about it. He said he saw what was happening over there, and he said he actually spoke to the guys over there and said, "Is it okay for me to come over?" He actually asked permission to go over there, and they said, "Yeah, come on."
I don't think he was allowed.
And he was saying the same thing. He was saying the same thing about filming. He said, "I can't film because I'm not allowed to film anything."
Yeah.
So it's all there's something there's it's organised. It's properly organised what's happening over there, and reports of the police even just keeping a very low profile, just sitting in their cars, not doing anything because they know that basically they don't have the authority to do stuff. The people or whoever it is which runs that place is the one calling the shots, and it's not them. By the looks of it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
The other two that I'd seen out there were AY Audits and UK Sploosh, which you seem to see on a lot of these demos. So again, they must be connected in their own ways. But
UK Sploosh, I saw some stuff from them, but I didn't know if actually they had someone out there or they were just piggybacking on someone else's feed.
Which one was it? Yeah. I think AY Audits was there and Sploosh was piggybacking on someone. Yeah, you're right. Because I think yes, they were doing the Sarah White's that they had her feed on theirs. I think.
Right. But yeah, I'm sure we'll hear about it in due course. But yeah, crazy times, eh?
It is, and I was gonna say very quickly that because there are people like me that get absolutely traumatized by these things, but I do want to point out that Starmer and his bunch of cronies are saying that they don't want this stuff out because of people like me, but I am grown up enough to know that I haven't seen any of them. In fact, if I was to go for, I wish they wouldn't have their thumbnails of the image, even though it's blurred out. People like me, it makes me think of. And anyway, stick with the point. So there is never a time when you shouldn't be allowed to see these things. I'm big enough and ugly enough to turn it off, not look at it. Yes, I agree that children shouldn't see it, and that's where we get into the argument of how do we monitor this for children. But anyway, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. You're trying to defend someone like me that has PTSD, and I'm saying fuck you. I'm grown up and ugly enough to look after myself, mate.
Yeah, it's just trying to micromanage everyone. It's a nanny state. They're just trying to manage every aspect of our lives. They're treating us like helpless children, and it's just so condescending. It's insulting. And then they're accusing us of being the ones who are creating division, whereas this whole situation is what's creating division, which has been caused by them. And I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of it. And I'm not the only one as well. This is really getting this is this really is starting to bubble over with a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm noticing I'm noticing more people are really getting what vocal about all this now. Yeah. But I was going to say, like, I remember years ago when I wasn't as as rounded as I am now with all the things. Years ago, with my psych woman that I have to see, I remember saying to her, "Oh, PTSD, this, that, and the other things I've seen. Oh, woe is me." But I remember saying, the problem is you don't want to see the things I've seen, because that is why my brain got mashed up. And from last night, I can see it's too late now. People are going to start to see, and that horrific story that Viv just said, these are things that messed up people like me. And we ain't I'm no different to the average person. Just some things I've worked out. Our human brains aren't resilient enough to cope with it. It's quite, when you've grown up in this Western world and you haven't seen the kind of barbaric humans that exist in places that are less fortunate than this, you don't realize what's coming to your gates. It's really bad. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. You saw it the last couple of nights. It's going to be really bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is this is it. It's you can't tell someone. It's all about the experience. You know, you only understand something when you experience it for yourself. You cannot be told experience. You cannot understand experience just by being told it. You have to experience it for yourself. And when it comes to bad things, unfortunately, that is not a pleasant experience, not a pleasant thing. But
no, there'll be people that
if it's going to be what it takes to shift, to get people
that's right.
up and kind of pushing back against this tyranny, then that's just unfortunate. But that's what it's going to take.
I mean, not that I want to add any more horrificness to the storyline, but are people aware that the poor chap that succumbed to what we're talking about was disabled? You know,
was he?
Yeah, a very happy, mentally disabled, happy-go-lucky type of guy.
No,
I think we're going to hear more. That. I think we're going to hear a lot more about it. Again, it's more tragedy to what was already an tragic story. He's out of, you hate your own thoughts sometimes, but I thought to myself, blimey, I hope he dies. I hope, because this is life-changing, horrible things. But, and I don't mean that in a nasty way. Everyone knows that. But yeah, he's out of critical condition now. So good luck to the man. But oh my God, yeah.
Well, it looks like he's lost his eyesight, which is horrific.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, really, it's times like this, which when you listen to Rupert Lowe, it's this guy, hang him. That's it. No questions. Hang him. You know, no doubt.
He's going to get in the latest 2029. Latest, he'll get in. Yeah, I think.
I don't know, but it's. I mean, there's no doubt about this one, and also just all that he's planning to do. I think because that is such to hear him come out and say things like that. It's a very, from what we're used to, it's really it sounds like quite a radical, extreme thing for someone to say. You can't be serious. Bring back the death penalty. You can't be serious. But then. And maybe people haven't even heard him or know of him. A lot of people, but when they see things like this happening, people getting mutilated in the streets every other day, it seems like now, and then somebody comes along and they hear him say, "Yeah, we want to bring back the death penalty." All of a sudden, it doesn't seem that ludicrous. It doesn't seem that radical. It doesn't seem that extreme anymore. It's kind of like, oh, there's actually a very good reason why he's proposing this.
Yeah, do you know what? And something really interesting I've noticed, when you talk to people that aren't as right of centre as we are, and you go, Well, what about Rupert Lowe? What is really interesting is every one of them says, yeah, but the problem, mate, is no one knows Rupert Lowe is. Meaning that everyone I've asked knows who Rupert Lowe is. And that is the funny thing. They're all these, all the people that are plugged into the mainstream media are all saying what the mainstream media say, but that means they know who he is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I mean, there's no way of saying of telling. That is a lot of people. That's the defence. I mean, that is the Farage defence. Oh no, Rupert Lowe. Nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
And that is also the mainstream media's line as well. But nobody knows actually how well known he is. Nobody knows that. There's no evidence of that. Did you see there was Farage giving a press conference earlier today, and Rupert Lowe's name was brought up, and he really physically reacted. He was not comfortable.
Yeah,
he was not. He is rattled by. This is all about Makersfield, the by-election. He is rattled by Restore Britain. He is not comfortable. They are making a big difference. I still don't think they'll win it, but boy, Reform are feeling the heat from them. That's for sure.
Yeah. I saw some local recent pollings that had him at 13%, I believe. So maybe I was a bit too joyous at thinking he would take that place. But anyway, as you say, Thingy is rattled clearly.
Yeah, they all are. They all are. And that apparently I heard that as well, and that was apparently from a left-leaning pollster as well. So I heard. So maybe even more than that. I mean, what is it? A week or so to go. Is it next week? Next Thursday is the election. So,
is it next Thursday? Is it?
I think so. Yes.
Oh, great. Right. Interesting. It will be very interesting, actually, the results of that.
Yeah, I mean,
I've noticed the Green Party leader has seemed to have dropped off the popularity stage. I'm not hearing anything about him since.
He's a fucking lunatic. That's why people are wising up.
Absolutely, yeah. I still can't get the image of his mum out of my head. Oh my God! Talk about traumatic scenes.
Yeah, well,
but it is interesting that he's completely dropped. Wasn't it something came up about not paying council tax in a property or something? And I've just not heard from him since.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to stay relevant, but he's just, he's got. Not even worth talking about. But it looks like Viv's having problems. He's disappeared and he's not come back.
I just looked at the time and I was going to say, like, for anyone listening, this will be a short one because a couple of us, we've all got things that we've got to do. But I think we might have lost Viv. So maybe we'll just sort of.
Yeah, should we kind of wrap it up?
Wrap it up. Unfortunately, hopefully he'll come up in the time that we're wrapping up. If not, we haven't. Other than this, we can't contact him, can we?
Well, I can send him a message, but he never uses his phone, so he might not get it till actually. I mean, we're going up to see him this weekend, so he probably won't get it until
he won't see it until we see him.
Let me just try giving him a ring. You never know. But I thought he would have maybe. Where is he? So it looks like he's probably not going to come back. So we're not going to do Viv's bookshelf. It was also his turn to pick a comedian. So obviously that's not going to happen. I do have some jokes lined up.
Good.
No, his phones go straight to voicemail. So he's probably given up. Not to worry.
He does seem to have loads of problems with his internet. So yeah.
Yeah, well, he lives in a not very good internet area. I think it's just his like immediate location. It's probably not great for internet by the looks of it. He uses wireless as well, so which tends to be a bit weaker, the signal of wireless, and less reliable. He doesn't have it coming in on a dedicated like a hardwired line. He just uses his that wireless dongle.
Of course, yes, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, we're off up to see Viv tomorrow for the weekend. Be nice to get away and decompress for a little bit, for a couple of days.
Yeah, will we? Yeah. I've got I've got some dandelion tea that I'm going to bring down with me. God, aren't we exciting? Fucking hell.
the things that get us excited as you get older, it's like,
my
you get
God,
excited about one of the most ridiculous things. So you say dandelion tea, is it just ground dried dandelion root? Is that what it is?
It's the whole of the dandelion roasted, basically, yeah.
Right, so is it in a tea bag, or is it just loose kind of powder?
No, it just comes as loose bits of wood. It looks like little bits of wood.
Oh, okay. It's not actually really. So you you steep it in hot water.
Yeah, I've got one of those little diffusers that we just put in hot water and leave it in the hot water for 5 minutes, and off you go. And as I say, it's got its own flavour. It's not bad at all. It took me a bit of time to get used to the new taste, but when you look into dandelions, the health benefits are off the chart. It's quite a crazy. It's another one of those things that you think, why don't we know about this? Oh, because there's no money in it. Oh, I see. Right, yeah.
Yeah, they can't. What's the word? Not copyright. They can't patent it because it's natural, so it's no good to them. Can't make any money out.
You can eat the whole of the dandelion, and there's different from the flower, the benefits, of the flower. Then you've got the benefits of the leaves. Apparently, the only bit that is a little bit not nice to eat is the stem. That's very bitter, apparently, but it's got all three of those aspects have got different healing properties and different vitamins that are good for us. So, and I've been told the reason I got it is I was told it was good for arthritis. So,
well, yeah, I mean, even the sap from the stem is meant to be good for, I can't remember what it exactly is now, but certain kind of skin complaints. Was it eczema or maybe something like that?
I believe. Yeah.
And also, it's amazing, right? You go out, and because it's classed as a weed, a dandelion, you go out into any pretty much green area, a spot of grass or anywhere where it's just kind of green is growing, and dandelions are everywhere. They are absolutely everywhere, and they grow all around where I live. I mean, I've been meaning to get a little gardening, kind of like a hand fork one day, and go out into the front and into the back, all the green areas, and just dig them all up and get a load of them, because they're everywhere. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of getting out and doing it, but yeah, it's incredible.
And even the dandelion root is another part of it. So
yes, the whole plant. Get the whole plant.
The whole plant. Yeah. The Chinese, interestingly, put their own Chinese style batter around it and deep fry it, and they eat it like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What, around the whole plant? They just cover it in batter and deep fry it?
Just drop the whole thing in the boiling batter for a couple of seconds. Wait till it's crispy, and you can watch them eating it. And they eat, and it crisp, like a crisp as they bite into it, sort of thing.
Yeah, that sounds great. Actually, yeah, kind of deep frying in batter. That you could. There's so many boring bits of food you could do that to make it more interesting. Just deep fry something. It makes it taste 10 times better. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I look forward to trying some of your dandelion.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think probably looks like Viv is not going to be coming back anyway. And if you wanted to cut it short, I mean, we're half an hour away from our normal time, so maybe now is a good time just to knock it on the head.
Yeah. Let's do it. And give me some of your jokes, and then we will say goodbye early. Yeah.
Okay. All right. This one is all right. A German, an Italian, a Frenchman, and an Englishman are debating philosophy. The question arises: what separates humans from animals? Technology, says the German. Other creatures have tools, yet none can match the heights of engineering we've accomplished. It is our industry that separates us from the beasts. I disagree, announces the Italian. It's our food. The creatures of the wild eat, but they cannot cook. Humans, on the other hand, create amazing dishes and new combinations that make eating a most enjoyable experience. I say it's art, says the Frenchman. No other being can create art. From our earliest days, we have painted and we sculpt and we write and we compose as well. The wild animals cannot ever know what it's like to experience deep emotion when viewing a beautiful piece of art. The Englishman sits quietly sipping his tea. After several minutes, the annoyed Frenchman says, "Well, what about you? What do you think separates humans from the animals?" And the Englishman says, "The English Channel."
Nice. I wondered where it was going to go, but you could. Yeah.
20 years. Hard to believe that today marks exactly that long since I asked my girlfriend, my best friend, and the love of my life to marry me. Even harder to believe, all three of them said no.
Yeah.
The police came to my front door last night and showed me a picture of my wife. They said, "Is this your wife, sir?" Shocked, I answered, "Yes, it is. What's the problem?" They said, "I'm afraid it looks like she's been hit by a bus." I said, "Yeah, I know, but she's a great cook and really good with the kids."
Oh, man. Nice.
All right, I'll cut it short. I'll just do one more. My great-grandfather warned people that the Titanic would sink, and no one listened to him. He kept on warning them again and again until eventually they got so sick of him, they kicked him out of the cinema.
Oh, right. Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, thanks. That's yeah. No, your jokes are good. I do like them, actually.
Thank you.
Genuinely, I think since me and Viv stopped telling jokes, it's got like 10 times better.
Oh, really? Well, Viv just kept repeating himself week after week.
Which in itself was funny, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he was hoping we didn't notice or he genuinely had forgotten. I don't know, but I think he's being a bit oh, I remember the bloody word. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, listen, I will see you tomorrow, and Viv, we're going to see you as well, but you're not here to respond to that. But yeah, okay, and we will be back next week. So we'll be covering the election thing next week then.
Yeah, I mean the election, we won't know anything until the following day, but we'll probably get all the build up for it. Yeah. So yeah, on behalf of Viv, good night, everybody.
Yeah, have a good one, and we will see you another time.
Yeah. All right, see ya.
See you later. Oh.